The brutal reason why no one respects you is because you haven't become someone who other people can respect. A lot of people will think what I'm saying is harsh, but what is more harsh is going through your entire life as a young man and have no one tell you how to actually become someone who commands respect. You see, a lot of young men, they go through life hoping other people can respect them, when in reality, respect is something that you have to command through the way that you live. Respect is something that you earn when you radiate this level of self-respect. Because the truth is, no one can respect the man unless he respects himself. So to actually get self-respect, that comes from keeping the promises that you make to yourself. And the best way to keep the promises that you make to yourself is by setting a challenging goal and achieving it. So for me, earlier this year, I set this goal where basically I wasn't running at all. And there was this running event in Sydney where I live. It was a 14-kilometer race. And because I've only been lifting weights and I wasn't really running, I decided, you know what, I'll give it a shot. So I set myself the goal of running that 14-kilometer race at a time of 5 minutes per kilometer, right? So an hour and 10 minutes, basically. I trained really hard for it for about, 8 months. And that was on top of my usual bodybuilding training as well. And the whole time, it was just super challenging. You know, there would be some runs where it was just pure grit, pure discipline. And in those moments, it would have been so easy for me to throw in the towel and for me to just think to myself, oh, like this goal was unachievable to begin with. And to be honest, there was a lot of times that felt like that. But I just had this internal belief to know that if I just keep pushing and keep showing up and keep doing the right things and keep pushing when it's hard, when I finally get to that race, I'm going to be able to shock myself, basically. You're just going to shock yourself at how well you can do. And I kept that promise to myself. And so when I got to the race, I ended up running 14 and a half kilometers. I don't know how that worked out, but 14 and a half kilometers at an average time of 4 minutes 58. And that may not mean much to you if you're not a runner, but it took me 8 months of running and pushing myself for all those 8 months, and I just scraped in. And I'll tell you, the level of self-respect that I gained after doing such a challenging task like that and being able to just reflect on all those times when I kept the promise that I made to myself and kept pushing even when there were doubts along the way, serious doubts where I just thought, man, is this even achievable? Was this too ambitious? And I just kept my head down, kept going, and I ended up achieving it. When you do that, when you set yourself challenging goals that other people wouldn't even be able to set for themselves, and you set it for yourself, and you actually follow through and do it, that is when you develop self-respect. And when you have self-respect, the energy that you have when you walk into any room is just going to be so much more commanding, so much more worthy of respect, that suddenly everyone around you starts to pay attention. And the most beautiful thing about this is when you have your own self-respect, that is when you realize that the respect that you have when you look in the mirror is far more valuable than the respect of everyone else. Because the truth is, the respect of everyone else, it's nice. Especially as men, we're wired to want to have that respect. But their respect can be very conditional. It can fade away very quickly. Whereas the respect that you have when you look in the mirror and you continue to show up and you continue to be the man that you aspired to be like, and you set those challenging goals and you achieve them, the respect that you have when you look in the mirror, that stays with you. That goes with you to your grave. You see, before, when I was younger, about 16 years old, this was lockdown, and I wouldn't even get a haircut. I'd dress however, whatever I could find in my wardrobe. The first thing I saw, I chucked it on. And I walked around with this defeated posture. I was basically signaling to the world that, hey, look at me, everyone. I'm a victim. I don't respect myself. And I'll do the bad habits like gaming and, eating poor diet and not exercising. And, when I would socialize with other people, I would speak in this way where it just signals again that no one respects me because I don't even speak with any conviction. Right? And the crazy part is, what I'm saying in this video, this would have been mind breaking to think, oh wow, like no one respects me because I don't position myself as someone who other people can respect. Like what? You see, that's the crazy part, is especially in this society, it feels like as men, we just have this entitlement to think that everyone else should respect us. But respect isn't something that I can just give you. I can't just choose to respect you. Right? No one's going to respect I'm not like fat shaming or anything, right? But no one's going to respect the fat guy who goes to the gym and does a half-ass set of, I don't know, chest press. No one's going to respect him, right? You may think, oh, like, good on the guy. He's he's at the gym. That's a good thing. And yeah, you may respect him for that, but you won't look at him and say, oh yeah, like, I want to be like him, because he isn't competent in the environment that you're in, right? And the reason why I use that example is because the environment that you're in and the level of competency that you have in that environment heavily dictates the amount of respect that you have, right? So respect is something that you earn when you become more competent at something. That's what I'm trying to get at, right? And that competency is going to change across different domains that you're in, right? If I walk into a gym, the level of respect that I'm going to have is going to be way higher than if I walked into a martial arts club, right? Because I don't really do a martial art. But you see, the difference there is the level of competency that you have, right? And as young men, it should be our duty to become people who other people can respect, who other people can look up to, especially as we want to become leaders. And that only can't speak. That only comes from when you are competent at something. So you have to do the work and actually become someone who is competent at what you do. Right, so the main takeaway I want you to have from this video is respect is something that ultimately comes from the level of self-respect you have. And so many young men hope for respect when in reality it's something that you have to command. So if you want to start commanding respect, you have to start to become more competent at what you do. All right, and competency comes from doing the hard work. All right, so if you watched to the end of this video, I know it's a bit of a raw car talk. I wanted to get a video out, so I'm in my car today. But if you've been following along with my channel, I respect you. I know it's still early days. I'm still trying to improve my competency, especially when it comes to speaking, when it comes to, giving good advice. And so if you want to support me, subscribe. And if you're interested, I've also written a free ebook that you can access. It took me quite a long time to write it. So if you want to read it, it's on limiting beliefs. You can access it in the description. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.